All right. In yesterday's class, till yesterday, what we discussed, like we saw the basics of SQL, like what is SQL, what is database, and in especially yesterday's class, we saw how to create the database and how to activate the database, right? Next, how to create the tables and how to insert the data inside the table, right? By using insert command, we inserted some data in the table. And whenever we are creating the table, we use data types. So we saw what is data types, and we saw different types of data types. And we also discussed about the difference between char and varchar till yesterday, right? And again, to display the data, after creating the table and inserting the data, to display the data, we will use select command, right? By using select command, I will display the data. Till here, we already learned. Is that clear for you, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So let's continue with the next class now. Okay. Today I'm going to discuss about SQL sub languages, or we can call it as SQL commands as well. Okay. You can see here we have SQL commands here. Whatever commands we saw so far, like previously in the last class, we saw some commands like how to create the table. For creating the table, we will use a command called as create, right? Create is called as a command only, and to insert the data also, we will use a command called as insert. Likewise, we have many commands in SQL. Okay, basically we can also call them as SQL sub-languages. Okay, we have 5 types of SQL sub-languages, and the first one is DDL. Okay, DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. These are the 5 different types of sub-languages available in SQL. Okay, DDL stands for Data Definition Language. Okay, and the commands falls under DDL are these commands like create, drop, alter, truncate, rename. Likewise, we have 5 types of sub languages, and each and every type we have some commands in them. Okay, now let's try to discuss each one of the command detailing. Okay, so as I said, we can call it as SQL sub languages also, or overall we will call them as SQL commands. Okay, so we have 5 types of SQL sub languages. Okay, and the first one is DDL, as we saw just now, and DDL stands for Data Definition Language. Okay, and the commands comes under DDL are create, drop, alter, truncate, and rename. Right, and next we have DML. DML in the sense data manipulation language. Commands comes under DMLR, insert, update, and delete. Okay. Likewise, we have another 3 types of languages: DCL, TCL, and DQL. Okay. DCL in the sense a data control language. Okay, commands comes under DCLR, grant and revoke. Basically, this DCL and TCL commands are in real time. These commands are used by database administrators only. That means SQL administrator. We have whenever for any maybe any domain, like if we talk about SQL also, there will be two roles, SQL developer and SQL administrator. So whatever we are studying, we in this course, those all concepts comes under SQL developer. Okay. And for the SQL administrator role, basically they will, as you know, they belongs to the admin team who will helps us to give some access and all. We will see that detailing in going forward. But so these two commands are used by SQL admin people. Okay, that is SQL administrators, and the commands comes under TCLR, grant and revoke. Next we have TCL, transaction control language. Commands comes under TCLR, commit, rollback and save point. Okay. Next, we have DQL. That is nothing but data query language, which we already saw previously. The only command comes under DQL is select. Okay. We already saw what is select command. Whenever we want to display the data from the table, we will use select command, right? So these are all the different types of sub languages: DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. And these are all the commands comes under each one of the sub languages. Okay. Now let's understand each one of the command detailing. So let's see for the first command first. First is we have DDL. Inside DDL, we have create, drop, alter, truncate, and rename. This all commands comes under DDL. Okay. So DDL basically what it will do, it will deals with the structure of the data. Okay. DDL deals with structure of the data. Let's see why I am saying this. It deals with the structure of the data. Let's see now. So the commands comes under DDLR, create, drop, alter, truncate, and rename, right? So here we already saw what is create command, correct? Yesterday or day before yesterday. Whenever we are creating any tables, not only tables, for all the SQL objects, we have like tables, procedures, we have some kind of SQL objects. That what are all the objects are there, we will see that in going forward classes. But for now, as we are talking only about the tables, so let's stick to that tables only. Okay. So here whenever we want to create the database, even for the database or even for the tables, we will use the create command, which we already saw in the previous class, correct? See, for the if we want to create the database, we will use like create a database name, right? And if you want to create the table, we will use the syntax like create table, right? Create is a command which is used to create the table. Create table name, and we will use, after writing the table name, inside the parenthesis, we will give all the column names and we will define the data types of that column names, which we saw very detailedly in the yesterday class, correct? So as we already saw about the create command, I'm not repeating that again. Okay. Next, we will now we will see about this drop command. Next command we have drop. Before that, as I said you previously, whenever we are start working, we need to activate the database, right? Then only SQL will understand in which database we want to execute the queries. So for now, let me activate the database. I think we used Durgasoft 3 database, right? Mm. So first, let me activate the database. To activate the database, we will use command. Directly, I can say as use database name. That is the database which we are going to use in this particular batch is DurgaSoft 3. So I'm just mentioning it as DurgaSoft 3 here. So use DurgaSoft 3, that is use database name. And I'm selecting this and I'll execute this. Okay, our database got activated. How we can understand our database is activated? It will turn into some bold, dark black color, correct? So now if you can see, we can expand the tables from here. If this is our database, there is an icon here. If we expand this, we can able to see the 4 types here, like tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. Like, so now if we want, as we are discussing about the tables right now, if I expand the tables, I can see I already created some 3 tables here, like employee, employees, and employees one, correct? So here in specially MySQL, whenever I'm selecting that table name at the bottom, I mean towards here, you can see the column name and the data type name also, correct? So I already created employees table here. Let me just quickly try to display the data. Let me see what data is there inside the tables, okay? So to display the data, we will use select command, right? So I'm writing it as select star from employees. As we already discussed, whenever we use star or asterisk, it will display the complete data from the table. So I already created 2 rows in it, and the column is, we have 4 columns: employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining, and we have 2 rows of data in this. Next, I have employees one table also. Let me see that employees one, and I have employee table also. See, so far what we saw, whenever we want to execute any statement, simply we will write any SQL statement, we will select that and we will execute. But suppose if I want to execute some multiple statements at a time, here I have select statements, and if I want to see the output of these 3 tables at a time, what I need to do, after writing each and every query, I will use this semicolon. If you remember in the first class, I said in MySQL specially semicolon is optional, right? Whereas in SQL Server, we will use semicolon after writing each and every syntax. Then only SQL will understand that, whenever it sees the semicolon, it will understand that that is the end of the SQL statement. But in MySQL, it is optional. If we write, if we mention, semicolon at the end, also fine. If you don't mention also, it will work, right? But whereas suppose if we don't write a semicolon and if we execute one statement, that is okay. But if we want to execute multiple statements, we need to write the semicolon so that SQL will understand, okay, as I saw the semicolon here, this will be the end of this line, and from here, this will be the second statement. As again we are mentioning semicolon here, this will be the end of the second statement, and this is the third statement, like that. Whenever we are executing multiple statements, we need to mention the semicolon at the end, so that SQL can differentiate that those statements are different statements. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I'm just selecting this and I'm executing. You can see here, at the time I selected all the 3, I executed all these 3 commands. You can see the outputs from here. The first command is employees table output is this one. You can just toggle the outputs from here. We have different tabs. This is the first statement output. This is the second statement output. That is in employees one. We have some 3 rows, and in employees 3, we don't have, okay, we have only 1 row here, right? Like this, we can understand, we can see different, we can execute all of them together and we can see the outputs. Now I have in this database, I have some 3 tables. So you can see here in employee one, I have only 1 row, correct? So let me use this employee table. Now the next command here is drop, correct? Drop command is used to remove the data from the, I can say drop command. By using drop command, we can remove the complete table from the database. Or else I can say remove complete, data from the table, and even it will remove the table. So, okay, let me write it as use it to remove the complete table from the database. Okay. So drop command, by using drop command, what we can do? We can, it is used to, drop command is used to remove the complete table from the database. Here you can see DURGASOFT 3 is my database and I have 3 tables here basically. So as I just now saw the data inside it, in employee table I have only one row. Now I want to use this drop command on the employee table. That means whenever I use drop command, it will remove the complete table. That means it will delete the employee table completely from my database. Okay, let's see that how to use. So the syntax for using a drop command is drop table name. Okay, this is the syntax for using the drop command, drop table name. So let me write it as drop table. What is the table name here? Employee, EMP, right? EMP is the table name. See, whenever you are writing any queries in MySQL, if you see any cross marks, in this line, in this editable page, if you see any cross marks, just ignore that. Okay, no problem. If we see that cross marks in the output, it indicates that we got some error. But here, no problem. As I used, drop is basically a command. As I used small letters, it just shown me like that. If I write like this, it won't show. Or else we have some also here. If like that, some it will be. As I didn't use semicolon here, it is showing me the cross line here. But again, it won't affect me in any way. So you can see here, again, I used small letter only. As I said, in MySQL, it is case insensitive. That is, you can use capital letters or small letters. It is okay. But whenever you see this, you can just ignore that. It won't affect anything. Okay. So I'm using drop command here. Drop table employee name is EMP, right? I wrote this. Let me execute this. If you can observe, I have the list of 3 here. A list of we have 3 tables here. I'm just executing this statement now. Drop table name. If you observe, my employee table is removed from this list. Correct? That means completely employee table is deleted or removed from the database. Right? Whenever we think that we don't need any tables, if we want to remove the tables completely from the database, we will use the drop command. Okay. It got removed. Suppose if I again execute this select star from employee, only this one, it will throw me an error. See at the bottom, it throw me an error. It is saying that DURGASOFT 3 dot employee doesn't exist. That means employee table in the in this database, this table is not existing, correct? Because we already removed that, right? This is how we will use a drop command. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So we finished about create command and drop command, right? Next, let's try to understand about alter command. So next we have alter command. Alter command is basically we have some 4 to 5 use cases in the alter command. That means we can use alter command in different ways. Let's see each one of the way. Okay. And the first way is no, Varun. There is a difference between drop command and delete command. I will discuss that going forward. Okay, we have 3 commands: drop, delete, and truncate. We have some differences in that. And this is again a very important interview question. If you are a fresher or almost if you are trying for up to 1 or 2 years of experience, definitely we will get this question in the interview to explain the difference between a drop, delete, and truncate. We will have, we have the commands as I already show. in DML, we have delete command, and we have truncate command in DDL. We have drop command. All these three commands will do almost. There is some difference. Let's see that. I will explain them. And after explaining each step, I will explain the difference between them also. Yes, as our admin team just now texted, this is our last demo class. Okay, so from tomorrow the link will be changed. Okay, please get registered. For the students who are registered, for them by the evening they will get the new link. Okay, new Zoom link they will send you by the evening. So please get registered and please log in. Whoever students got registered, please log in with the new link from tomorrow. Okay. All right. So now let's see about alter command. As I said, we have many use cases in the alter command. Let's see each one of them now. And the first use case is to add a column in existing table. Okay. To add a column in the existing table. Yes, Varun. Actually, is this your first class? Could you please, if possible, could you please? I already took 3 to 4 demos, but in yesterday's demo, especially, I got some new students in yesterday's class. So what I covered all the last 3 classes or all last 2 classes, I explained everything in the yesterday's class. As you got registered today, you will get mail from our admin team. In that mail, you can able to see the demo videos. Okay, if you get time and if you are interested, you can watch that all the demo videos, or else at least try to watch yesterday's demo video where I covered this concepts starting from the from the starting. I explained everything. Please watch that video. Okay. And do you have at least little bit knowledge on SQL, or is it completely new to you, Varun? No problem. No
Hello,
problem.
madam.
If yes, please.
Yeah, my name is madam,
Ramu,
actually,
your
I
audio is
listened
not.
only one
1 second.
class. That
One
in
second.
that, actually, yesterday I'm trying to log in. I'm unable to get into that. If
Sorry, your audio is not
hello,
audible. Yes, yes, please.
yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah, yes, please. Now I can understand.
Hello. Yeah, ma'am. I listen only one class, that in the half class.
Okay.
And yesterday I'm trying to log in. I'm unable to log in that mail ID, mail whatever they send it to me. Actually, I am also looking into the, when you, if you don't mind, can you stay one
Ramu,
class at least for start from the starting? At least can you spare one?
okay, sure,
Can you
sure.
spare one class, madam, for the
Yes, I
starting this
understand. How
fundamental,
many
because I'm new to
students
that.
are okay?
So if it is okay, then I'm ready to. I,
Okay,
yeah,
that is
because
fine
I'm
actually.
from Dallas. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's because of that. Sometimes I'm unable to get the, network problems. I'm unable to connect yesterday. So if you take a class of from the beginning of one class at least, so
Okay.
I wanted to
Yeah,
join
ma'am. Actually,
because in
yesterday I was
between it's very difficult.
Okay, okay. I got your point, Ramu. 1 second,
Uh,
1 second.
one day
Yes,
you can
Samina,
spend.
your okay. Yes, please. So you
At,
wanted
at least you can.
sorry. Okay, go ahead.
At
Go
least
ahead.
you can spend a one day.
okay. Oh, at least okay. I understood. Yeah, yeah. You and Varun want me to explain from the starting once again, right? Is there any other?
Yes.
Yes, Samina.
Yeah, because yesterday I joined, I was able to just see one demo, first class of like first demo today. I'm not able to see the next one, so like it's hard for me to get into
Okay, okay. And so Samina also want me to explain the first class once again, right?
the first class
Yes.
like demo. Yeah, so like I need to
Yeah,
log in.
because at least you started from the some comments like select star and that's
Okay.
from the
I
at least
got it.
because we want to do the upper language.
Okay, all right. And so these two students and Varun is the one. Is any another students or also there? Let me give once count like who wanted me to explain the first class once again. I'll try to take a separate session for them at least, not if possible. Just quickly tell me who. I think Satish Kumar attended from the first demo, right?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Not required for me.
Yeah, okay, that is fine. And what about Sweta? What about you?
Yeah, I have already attended demo sessions, ma'am.
Yeah,
So
it is clear for you also, right?
yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Darshan, what about you?
Ma'am, I joined from second class, but I couldn't attend it watch it the first demo class till.
First demo is okay, but you listen about from here, right? Whatever I said in the previous class.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I hope that is clear for you, right? Till this create commands, insert commands and all.
Yeah, done, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Next, we have Vishnu Priya.
I have attended yesterday's class, ma'am.
So is this clear for you? Is this
Yes,
concept?
yes,
Okay,
yes. I'm
okay,
aware
great.
of the basics. Yeah.
Okay, fine then. Syed, I think you also attended yesterday, right?
Yes, ma'am, I have attended.
Okay. So did I ask everyone? Only Varun, Ramu, and Samina. For these three students, I need to cover this whole concept once again, right? Whatever I taught in yesterday's class.
Yes, ma'am, till here. Yeah.
Okay.
till yesterday's class.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So actually, uh, I took almost 3 demos, okay, and this today is the last demo. From tomorrow we are changing the link, okay. So in the first 2 classes, also in the yesterday's class also, if you can ask, even Satish Kumar and Sweta is attending from the day one. Yesterday's class is completely repetitive. Whatever I said previously, that one only I repeated in yesterday's class. That's what you can see here in this class 1 file. From here, this is the basics. Okay, so this one, if you want, I will repeat it because this is important. You need to understand this to understand the remaining concepts. Okay, there is one more demo in which I explained about the limitations of Excel. Okay, I cannot, if possible, I will try to cover it going forward, or else if possible whenever you get time, please try to watch that video. That is, that video or the limitations of Excel is to get some basic knowledge about, as we are already having the Excel file, as we already saving data in Excel file, then what is the need of database? Okay, that is, if you observe in most of the another institutes or SQL content, they won't include that concept into the course content also. That is, it's just to get some knowledge, extra knowledge. I will include that concept here. So I suggest you to watch that video whenever you get time. That concept is not related to the concepts which we will discuss going forward, so it won't affect you. Whenever you get time, you can watch that video. Okay, is that okay for you, Ramu and Varun,
Not
Samina?
okay, ma'am. It's
Hmm?
not okay. It's not okay. We have an bitter experience last time when I joined the course. They said they're going to send the links, but they are not. See, once we have paid the fee and we have to listen to your class, that's it. Otherwise, they'll not send the links. They'll send 2-3 days once, 3 days once. So that's why we're requesting that.
No, it's not like that. Once you get registered, I mean, before registering also, you will get all the demo links in your mail. Whatever I finished, we will get all the demo links in your mail, or all that videos is generally uploaded in the DURGASOFT YouTube channel also. That links only they will send you. Okay, if you can make it, watch that video, or else I will try to cover that class. As I'm saying, let me show you the course content very quickly. Just give me a second. You can see my screen, right? This is the course content which we are going to cover in this course. Okay, what I'm telling, I will explain each and every concept. See, in today's class, I'm explaining about SQL commands. Okay, so this all concepts I will cover, but except this concept, limitations of Excel, this is of no use. Okay, this is I can say it as an extra concept where to get some extra knowledge. Okay, and if possible, I will cover this concept also till the end of our SQL batch, but not at least I cannot make it today or tomorrow. This one also. Okay. Another thing is that without this, if we see in the first introduction to database and SQL, creation of database and tables, MySQL installation, I didn't show you for now. After registering only, once the registration is done, I will show you the process of installation. I explained about data types also. I will cover these three concepts, like what is database, what is SQL, how to create the database, how to create the table, and what is data types, I will cover. These are all the concepts of SQL which you need to learn. Okay, if anyone are completely new to the SQL, if anyone are coming from non-IT background, or if anyone is learning the SQL from basics, obviously, if you attend or not attend also, it is compulsory to understand these concepts. These are basics. Without this, if I explain this also, you cannot understand. That's the reason I will repeat this once again for you. Yesterday also I repeated, today also I will repeat. Once, if you are okay, I will take an extra class from 9 to 10 for you three people. Is that okay for you, that timing?
Okay, ma'am.
Continuation. Once at 9 o'clock, I will finish today classes. I mean, today's concept from 9 to 10, whoever are there here, 3 students are asking me, right? For that 3 students, I will cover this thing. Okay. And these concepts are again, we are continuing now only.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am. Like without installing, how we'll try this commands, ma'am?
You need to install, but as I said, we see here, we are following some process, correct? From yesterday only you joined, right? Basically, what we will do, we will give 3 classes, 3 demo classes for free. After that, we will change the link. Once we change the link only, I will show you the installation process. And from then you can practice whatever I said. I didn't cover much concepts in these 2 classes, right? You can see only one file is covered. As I'm saying, tomorrow the link will be changed. In tomorrow class, I will show you the installation process.
Oh, okay.
From then you can practice all the concepts, whichever I'm uploading daily wise. Once you get registered, you will get one link. In that link, you can find from day one, from demo one, you can find all the videos that will be sent to your drive only, all the videos. And then whatever from subject wise, daily wise notes, and this files, mainly this files, whatever I'm explaining, I will save it like in this files only. If you can see, these are all my other batch files, joins concept, like that. Daily, day wise, I will save this files. In this files only you can able to see the theory part, and the everything will be stored, and these files will be sent to uploaded to that link.
Yeah, but by the time the installation will be having like 6 classes pending, like whatever you have taken to practice.
It's not 6 classes, Samina. Please watch the video if you want. It took me 6 classes, but in that 6 classes, it is the same concept. The only with this file I covered. You can ask for the students who already attended from the day one. It is, I didn't explain nothing much. If you really make time, you can watch that videos. I tried to explain this class in almost, I took 2 days to explain this one. And the same thing is repeated in the yesterday's class also. You attended yesterday's class, right? So almost 3 classes, I explain the same content. I'm repeating the same content. That's what I'm saying. So as I said, we took 4 classes, 3 classes, the same thing is repeated. In one class, I explained about the limitations of Excel. Okay. So this is the process we follow. If you see, 3% asked me if it is okay, I will continue the previous, the first concepts in the from 9 onwards. Now for me, let me continue this class. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. I understand your concern, of course. There is a small, I can say, we messed up with this batch. we got some students from the day one and some students, got in between. So it's okay in whatever it is. See, I have so much of patience. I don't mind in repeating the concepts, and we from the DurgaSoft we will provide all the links, all the files in time. If you trust me, only get registered. I am not forcing you guys to register.
I have registered, ma'am. Actually,
Yeah,
like
I'm just
the
saying
the way
I
I
understand your concern because this is SQL, that all the concepts will be linked with each other, right? If you don't understand the first class, you cannot understand the second class. I understand it completely. That's the reason I'm saying I will repeat this class. I mean, this
Yeah.
complete file. If you can, whenever
Why
you get time.
why I'm insisting that I'm not non-IT background?
Yeah, I
So that's
understood because basically I am into data science field. Okay, I will teach all the data science subjects, SQL, Tableau, Power BI, like that. Most of my students will come from non-IT background only because data science or data analytics is such a field. For more where mostly non-IT students will get transited. Whenever non-IT students are looking to transit their career into IT, mostly they will choose data analytics. So I got used to it. I know how hard it will be for you. So that's the reason I will teach every concept from basics, with detailing. Okay, so no problem. I understand your
like
concern.
we are working, ma'am, so we are able to see only one video. Your third demo is lasting for 1 hour, 52 minutes. So I could like hardly see one video of yours today. So that's the problem. Like after working, we are getting very less time to watch it.
The one video instance, I guess yesterday I took a little bit more time, right? Usually, see, don't worry, I understand your problems. From tomorrow, our timings will be sharply 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We will cover all the concepts, going forward. Till in the batches, how it will be, someone will attend today and someone in the demo sessions, we will face these problems in every batch, no problem. Okay, as I said in yesterday's video only, as so many students came yesterday, I took almost more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours. You all know, whoever attended yesterday, maybe you can see that video, I guess. So no worry. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I will repeat this concept after 9 maybe, as we have already old students. Let me just continue. So without, for now, you can able to understand whatever I said in this class, right? For the new students also, I said we have SQL sub languages. We have 5 types of sub languages, and we have, these are all the sub languages I just shown you in the picture. I'm going. So now let me just continue with the alter command. Try to listen, and after that, I will explain you once from 9. I will explain you the yesterday's concept once again. Okay. Okay. So we are discussing about the alter command now. So alter command is nothing but we will have many use cases in the alter command. So we will discuss each one of the use case now. And the first use case is to add a column in the existing table. Let me use the select command once again. Select star from employees. Okay, this is my table which I have already created. Going forward for the new students, I will explain how we created and what is this everything. But for now, after creating any table to display the data, we will use select command. Okay, so the syntax will be select star from the table name. So I just executed this and I got the table. This is my table output. Here, if you observe, I have 4 columns, right? Employee ID, employee name, salary, and date of joining, right? So suppose after creating any table in real time, or I realized or I wanted to add a new column in the existing table. So far we saw how to create a table. Okay, whenever we are creating table only, we will define the column names. But after creating one table, if I want to add an extra column in the existing table, we will use alter command. Okay, so here I have 4 columns. Now I want to add some another column here. At that time, what I will use alter command. And how to use the alter command, let's see now. Syntax for using alter command is alter table, table name, add. Add is a keyword which we will use here. Okay. Next column name, data type of size. Okay. This is the syntax. See, here I am having 4 columns. Now I want to add another column, new column to the existing table. I will use alter command, and this is the syntax. Alter table, table name. I'm saying that I want to alter this table. Okay. What is my requirement? I want to add a new column. That's the reason I will use the keyword called as add. This is the column name, the new column name and the data type. Let me write it as example, then you can understand. Alter table. Suppose this is employees table, right? We already created employees table. I'm saying that I want to alter this employees table. I want to add any new column name. For example, we already have employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. Let me write it as bonus. Okay, I'm giving one more column called as bonus. So here what I did, instead of column name, whatever column name I want to add, I will use that column name. And we know whenever we are defining columns, we will define a data type for that column names, correct? So here I'm giving a data type. For bonus, what is the data type I need to use here? Bonus in the sense, obviously it will be the numerical data. So I can use either int or float, right? So here I'm using the float data type. Okay. See, previously I have only 4 columns. Now I'm adding another column by using the alter command. Alter table, table name, add. My column name is bonus, and bonus is a float data type. We have data types concept, which we already discussed. For the new students, I will explain you in a while. Okay. Basically, for numerical columns, we will use int or float. Int is we will use for normal numbers. If we want to enter any decimal numbers, we will use float, right? So in bonus, maybe my values can be decimal, so I used float. If we use int also, it will work. Okay. Now I'm selecting this and I'm executing this. Okay. At the bottom, you can see my statement got executed. Now let me once again execute the select statement. You can see here in the existing table, I added a new column called as bonus, but I didn't inserted the data. That's the reason it is showing me the null values for now, right? I just altered the table, added a new column name in the existing table, correct? Am I clear?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So we will use, as I said, we have many use cases for alter, and this is the first use case, that is adding any new column name. If you want to add any new column in the existing table, we will use alter. And if you remember, whenever I'm saying about, in the starting, whenever I'm saying about DDL, I said DDL deals with the structure of the data, correct? That means you can observe. By using create command, we are creating a structure to the table, right? Basically, by using create command only, we are creating a table. That means we are getting some structure to the table, right? Whenever we are dropping the command, the complete table is removing from the database. That means the complete structure of the table got removed, right? If you see alter command, here also our structure, we made some changes in the structure of the table. That means previously we have only 4 columns. Now I added my 5th column here, right? By using alter command also, we are dealing with the structure of the table only. Or here, sorry, structure of the table, not data. So we are dealing with the structure of the table only, right? That's the reason I said DDL deals with the structure of the table. Okay, going forward also, all this we will deal with the structure of the table only, all the DDL commands. And as I said, we have many use cases in alter command, right? This is the first use case. Let's see what is the second use case. Our first use case is if we want to add a column in the existing table, we will use alter command. Let's see about the second use case. Okay. So the second use case is to remove column from the table. If I want to remove, see, well, let me display the structure of, let me display the table once again. I have 5 columns here. To add any new column in the existing table also, we will use alter, and to remove any particular column from table also, we will, to remove any particular column from table also, we will use alter command only. Okay. The first use case, if you want to add any column, particular column to the already existing table, if you want to add any column also, we will use alter command. If you want to remove any column from the existing table also, we will use alter command. Okay. Now, from this table, let me remove bonus column only. Okay. How to use that? Alter table name. Let me write it as syntax first. Alter table name. Drop. We will use drop command inside alter command. Previously, what we did, whenever we use a drop command, I said that we use drop command to remove the complete data from the database. So I used drop table name. By executing this, my table is completely removed from the database, right? But if we use drop command inside the alter command, what it will happen? It will remove only one particular column. Okay, I'm saying alter table name, drop column. So I'm saying alter table name, drop column name. Whenever we use drop command inside the alter command, we can able to remove this column. Okay. If we used here, I will remove this bonus column. Okay. If we directly use drop table name, it will remove the complete table from the database. But if we use drop command inside the alter command, it will be used to remove the particular column name which we are mentioning. Okay, so here I'm saying alter table employees. Okay, drop column. I'm saying I want to drop the column, and what is my column name? I want to drop the bonus column here, right? Alter table name, drop column bonus. If I execute this, this bonus column will be removed. Let me once again display the data by using select command. See, here bonus column is removed, correct? So whenever we want to add any new column to the existing table also, we will use alter command. But for that, we will use add keyword. Alter table name, we need to use add keyword because we are adding any new column in it. So we need to use add keyword. We need to mention what is the column name we want to add to the table. Whenever we are defining the column name, by default, we will define the data type. Okay. So and the second use case is whenever we want to remove the existing column also, whenever we want to remove the column from the existing table also, we will use alter command. For that, we need to use the drop command, drop keyword or drop command inside the alter command. Like this, alter table name, a drop column name. Here we are not defining the column, we are just removing the column. For that column, we already had the data type. So here we are not going to use any data type name. We are just using, we need to use column keyword, and after that we need to give the column name which we want to remove. Okay. I hope this is clear for you. With practice, you can able to remember all these syntaxes. Please don't worry. In tomorrow's class, I will show you the installation process of this MySQL. And from then, please start practicing the concept starting from how to create the database. Then it will be easy for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Now, we saw about two use cases now, right? We already saw how to add a new column. We saw how to remove the column from the table by using the alter command. Next use case is we have a third use case here. Third use case of alter command is we can change, we can alter, I can say, or we can change. Basically, alter command is used for changing data type. Okay. If we want to change the data type from the existing table, we will use alter command. Let me repeat. See, here I already have my table, that is employees table. I'm just executing this. This is my table. I have 4 columns here. Employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining, right? And if in the MySQL, the specialty of MySQL is that whenever we click the table name from here, at the bottom, we can see the column names and data types, correct? Here you can see I have employee ID. I declared the data type as int, employee name char of 10, salary float, date of joining, date, right? I already, whenever we create the table, we will declare the data types, right? So after creating the table, after giving some data types, whenever we create the table, by default, we will declare the data types also, correct? But if we want to change the data type from the table, okay, then we will use alter command. Okay. So here you can see for employee name, I have char data type, char of 10, right? If I want to change this char data type to var, that means I'm changing the data type from char to var, right? At that time, I will use this alter command. Okay. I will just explain you this one, and for the new students, I will stop it here. And after that, for the 3 students who requested me, please stay in the same session. I will continue with the previous class. Okay.
Ma'am, on request, ma'am, can you please tell the admin to share the link of all the demos, ma'am? They are not giving, ma'am.
Okay, I'll tell it. I'll tell it today. Okay. By today afternoon, you will get all the links.
Okay.
Okay. Or else you said you got registered, right?
Yes.
So don't worry. I mean, for all the people, I will ask them to send the links. But especially if you registered, you will get one mail from the admin people. Maybe by today evening, they will share you one complete folder of they like MySQL morning 8 o'clock batch kind of thing. They will show. They will share you a folder. In that folder, you can find all the videos along with the whatever. I didn't uploaded any notes for this batch still. From tomorrow, I will upload the notes. You can find all the notes there also. You can find that folder in your Google Drive. You will have the drive, right? Please open your Google Drive and you can find shared with me folder over there. Okay. If you open that shared with me folder, just give me a second. Let me show you that clearly.
Because I have given Yahoo mail.
Yahoo mail ID. Yeah. Do you have any Google mail IDs? Gmail IDs?
Yeah.
Please provide that. No, it will be easy.
Okay.
Once provide that mail ID to the admin team, or else they will also ask you, no problem. Suppose, see, if we this is my Google Drive. Okay, we have one folder like towards the left side. You can see shared with me. If we open that, you can able to find the files. Here you can see I have one folder with this is a night 7 p.m. file. In the same way, you can see MySQL by Divya ma'am at the rate 8 a.m. Right, like that folder you can able to see. If you open that folder, you can able to see all the notes which I have uploaded and all the videos from the day one. See, this is the evening batch. We already finished many concepts there. So we can able to see like this. But for your batch, particularly from the first session, they will upload all the videos like this. You can access uh, all the videos at any time till 6 months. Till 6 months, you can access all these videos.
Oh, okay.
Okay. once you get register, you will get to see like this. But whenever basically it will, you can able to view all this by opening your drive, and with the shared with me folder you can file the folder. Okay, but whenever, daily wise I will upload the notes, right? Whenever I will upload the notes, I will upload in this only, but I will it will, I will, I will send you from mail also. Whenever I uploaded, you will get a mail stating that I already uploaded this file, like that. From the mail also you can access, or else from the drive also. In this, after logging into this your drive, from this folder also you can able to access. Okay, daily wise you will get mails from my end also, like, whenever I uploaded any notes. Okay, and if you're not registered also, they will send you the demo links. Please check the mail. Maybe they sent only one link only. I will ask them to send all the links. Okay, so this is how you need to access the files from tomorrow. Okay, and guys, if you don't mind, whoever attended from the starting, please don't mind. I know I'm repeating the concepts again and again, and let's continue this concept also tomorrow only, because you just now saw 3 to 4 people. They they didn't attended the classes. So if I say this, it will be really confusing for them, because they didn't cover. I mean, for them I didn't cover what is data types, right? So from tomorrow, there won't be any confusion, there won't be any mess. Whoever get registered in till today, for them they will get a link. Please log in, if you get registered, log in tomorrow's class by using that link. Tomorrow I will show you the installation process, and then I will continue this class from tomorrow. Okay, if it is okay, you can please end this, you can please leave the session for now. I'll continue the first class for the students who wanted. Sorry for the confusion, or sorry for the trouble. From tomorrow, we will continue our regular classes without any disturbance. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
No problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you.
First,
Thank you, ma'am.
yeah, bye. Whoever wants to listen, please be in the session. And just give me a second.
Yes, sure.
Hello. Yes, sorry guys, I just informed the admin team about this because as we are done with the time, they may end the session. That's it. That's the reason I just now informed that I'm going to take a class for 1 more hour to continue to explain you the previous concepts. Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you for being on hold. Let's continue. So 1 second. All right. So I understand your concerns. Whatever you said, that is absolutely perfect. Like, you're already getting registered without learning from the start. And of course, if you are completely new to SQL, that will be really hard for you to understand. So I completely agree with that. And let's start from the beginning. Okay. So as you can see, this is our course content. Okay. Tomorrow I will say the SQL installation. So introduction to databases, SQL, limitations of Excel. If time permits, I will try to cover this concept also now only. Okay. Up to data types I need to cover. Today only I started SQL commands, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's try to understand it. If you get any doubts, please stop me and ask me again. Okay. First, let me give you the introduction to SQL. What is a database? What is SQL? Everything. See, basically, SQL is nothing but, if we want to talk about the, full form of SQL, that is a structured query language, right? So here, whenever we are trying to understand about the SQL, we need to know what is data. Okay, next, what is database, and we need to understand what is SQL. First, we will come across these 3 terms in why we will use a SQL in the real time, in the sense to, to store in real time, we will deal with big data, correct? To store the data, we will use databases. We will store the data we will use databases to store the data. What is data? In the sense, any real time object can be considered as data. Okay. If we really talk about from the scratch, if you want me to explain the definition of the data, that is the one. Any real-time object can be considered as data. We all know, what is data, basically how data is getting generated nowadays, correct? We, sorry?
Oh, you say like object. So what is object?
Yeah, that's what. Every object in the universe, I can say, everything we can consider as the data only. See, let's talk about data professionally. If I tell you professionally in real time what's happening, in the sense, whenever we are doing any work, we are, in everywhere we are storing everything in the form of data. For example, if we think, we all will use many, like nowadays the data generation is increased like a lot. For example, we will use social media platforms mostly, correct? Whatever we will use, like maybe we will use YouTube, we will use Facebook, Instagram, everything, everywhere we are generating data only. Okay. Basically, the usage of internet is increased a lot from few years, correct? Whenever we are using internet, whenever we are doing something in the internet, everything will be stored in the form of data only. Okay, just give me a second. So I can say from few years, what is happening? Basically, nowadays data is very important for us. But why data becomes so important nowadays? In the sense, from few years, data generation has increased a lot. Okay. How we are generating data in the sense, we are spending a lot of time with the internet, correct? As I said just now, maybe in this Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or watching any series, watching any movies online, everything whatever we are doing with the help of internet only, correct? If I talk about gadgets also, nowadays all our gadgets are also connecting to the internet, right? Like maybe smartwatches, we have TVs, we have smart TVs, we are connecting TVs to the internet. We have even ACs, we have something called as Alexa, Series, like that. We have many gadgets in the market which we are using by connecting that gadgets to the internet only, right? And every one of us, you know in real time, basically everyone are using them on daily basis, correct? What is happening with all these things? In the sense, whatever we are doing, whatever we are using, we all are generating data by using all these things. Okay, that's the reason data is became very important for us. If you want me to tell any example, let's talk about any OTT platform. Okay, we will use many OTT platforms, correct? Let's talk about maybe Netflix or something like that. What we are doing, we are using internet to watch that, any platform, any to something. Suppose, let's if we talk about Netflix, we will use internet to access this, correct?
Yes.
So here what is happening, whenever we will download Netflix into our, suppose, TVs or mobile phones, correct? We will install that. After that, we will give some, permissions to that, correct? So, and whenever we are registering or whenever we are using any apps, any such apps, if you remember, we need to give either our mobile number or mail ID to log in into our own accounts, correct? So maybe we will use a Gmail ID, or like any mail ID or any phone. By using this, we are logging into that account. If you remember, if I talk about particularly Gmail ID, what we are doing in the starting, whenever we are creating our own Gmail accounts, we will give some data to them, right? We will give like almost, we will give our name, we need to enter our age, we need to enter our gender, we need to give the phone number, and we will sign up to the Gmails, correct? Whenever we are creating the Gmail account for the first time, we need to give all this data. This is nothing but data only. Our name, our age, our gender, our mobile number. This is the data. Okay. So this data individually, each and every person, whenever they are creating their own Gmail accounts, all these data will be stored in the Gmail's database. In the, in the Google's database, I can say. Let's talk about only Google and Gmail here. I mean, I'm just taking the example of that. So whenever we are registering, all our data will be saved with them. Okay. And whenever we are using Netflix or any other applications, generally, which we will install in our phones or like that, whenever we are using, either we will give our mobile number or Gmail, correct? So almost all this data will be interlinked with each other. After, suppose I used my Gmail ID or mobile number, anything, and I got registered with the Netflix people, I mean, with the Netflix application, and I need to give some permissions. By default, after installing every application, we will click some permissions. We will accept something and we will go forward, correct? If you remember. By accepting like that, what we are doing, we are giving permission to the Netflix people to access the data which we provided with the Gmail. Or else whatever data, suppose if I registered with the Netflix, I given my number, phone number. So whatever data so far I given, maybe to the mail ID. So maybe somewhere, whenever I used my mobile number, say maybe if we talk about India, we will, we will, what we call, with Aadhaar card also, we will link our mobile number, right? Like that, all the data will be interlinked whenever we use phone and whenever we are accepting the agreements over there, we are giving permission to that application to access our data. If we are giving Gmail ID here, we are giving permission for the Netflix people to access the whenever we are registering with the Gmail, we gave some data like here, right? Like I will give my first name, last name, I'll give my age, I'll give my gender. If you remember, all these things we will give whenever we are using Gmail IDs. That's the reason most of the applications will ask for mail IDs only, so that they can get permission by clicking accept. We only giving permissions for the Netflix people to access this data. So by default, they will this all the data whichever we are registered. With this data, whichever is there with the Gmail, all this data will be accessed by the Netflix people. And now in the Netflix database also, individually, all our data will be stored. Okay, like this. Oh, this is the process which will happen in the backend, and in this way only, our data will be circulated everywhere. Whatever we use, whatever we do, they will store all our data in their databases, and they will use that data to improve their business. Okay, and this concept is till here. Just try to understand the importance of data. And the next concept will be, if I explain, that will comes under data analytics. How they will, by using this data, how they will improve their business and all. That is a part of the data analytics, not SQL. But for now, just try to understand. This is the importance of data everywhere. Whatever we are doing, everywhere, all the information is storing in the form of data only. Okay, am I clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is about data. So as we are previously, how it will be, we used to store everything in the form of maybe manually, like maybe in the books, maybe in the registers, like that. Without, before computers used to store everything in the form of books only, correct? Previously, if we talk about some years ago. After that, computers came into existence and we started using computers. And we stored the data in the computers, correct? So going forward, how our, how our world is changing, in the sense, we are getting many, we are going so much of advanced, we are getting many advanced technologies, and everything got very advanced. After computers, what we are doing, everything, in basically currently we are dealing with the big data. Whatever we are doing in our real life, everything is completely depending upon the data. Daily we are generating some lots of data. That's the reason in real world, in everywhere we are dealing with the big data. Correct. Previously, suppose if I talk about maybe we have some thousands of data, but now here we are having some millions of data. So as the data generation is increasing a lot day by day, we cannot store those data in the form of maybe books or maybe small Excel files in computers, like that. To maintain this data, we need databases only. Correct? Because nowadays we are generating the data a lot, and we need to maintain that databases. We are maintaining the databases, and by using that data only, many organizations are making businesses. Correct? So basically, database is used to, I can say database is the collection of data where we will store the data. Okay, collection of data. Database is nothing but collection of data. Okay. For example, let me quickly give you one example here. As you said, some students are completely new to the IT background or SQL. I'm taking this example. Try to understand what it is happening. Let's talk about any school. Okay, suppose this is one school, and here we are talking about, we have 10th class. We have, suppose, imagine I have 10th A and 10th B here. This, I have two sections in one school, 10th A and 10th B. Okay, so here what it happens in that school, Suppose if I talk about 10th A, they will maintain one register in every class. In 10th A, they will maintain one register. In 10th B also, they will maintain one register, one book, we can imagine it as. In that register, they will store all the student details. As this is school, they will store all the student details, maybe like student name, okay, roll number, student roll number or student ID, okay, and maybe student marks, student attendance, like that. Just imagine something like that, okay. So they are storing the data physically in the registers, okay. And for this school, there is one principal. Suddenly, this principal wanted to analyze or wanted to see the performance of 10th A students. Okay, this principal, what he did, he called this peon. There will be some peon in the school, right? Just try to imagine. I'm just trying to relate all the technical terms which we learn here by taking one simple example so that you can understand clearly. Okay, so here this principal, what he did, he called his peon. He said to his peon that go to 10th A and take and bring that register. Okay. So what he will do, this peon went to the 10th A, he took the register and he gave back to the principal. That register he gave back to the principal. So in this principal, by using this register, he can able to see the complete data of the student, like student ID, roll number, marks, everything like that. Okay. If we store the data physically, this will be the process. Suppose instead of storing the data physically in the registers, if we try to store the data in the form of computers, then how it will be? Suppose instead of register, I stored my data in one computer. Okay. In the school, instead of storing the data, instead of storing the data in the registers, if they try to store the data in the computers, what they will do, instead of registers, we will have some computers, correct? They will store the data here in the form of databases. Okay, they will store the data here. For now, just understand they are storing the data somewhere here. Okay, now how they will store, how they are storing the data in the form of registers. If they are storing the data in the form of computers, what they will do, if that is small data, that is okay, they will even store the data in the form of Excel files. But if that is big data, we cannot store the data in the Excel file, we need to store the data inside the databases only. Okay, so here this register, we can understand it as the database. If we are storing the data in the database, how we are storing the data in the registers, we will store the data inside the databases. Okay, first we will create a database. Inside the database, we will create the tables. Okay, inside the tables, we will insert the data. This is tables. Okay, something like if they store in a computer, for example, if I'm storing any Excel file or any data in the computer, what I will do, first I will create a folder, like maybe D drive, E drive, like that. That folder will be considered as a database. Okay, inside that folder, I will create one file, correct? Suppose I have D drive. In that D drive, I created one folder. In that folder, I entered the data, or I kept some photos. Just imagine like that. We will store our images like that only, no, in our systems. Like that, that folder is considered as a database. Okay, inside that folder, as we have files, inside that database, we will have tables. Inside the tables only, we will store the data. This is how we can relate. If I want to, if you want me to relate this database, tables and data with the example of the files which we are storing in our laptops, we can understand like this. Database is nothing but the collection of data. Inside the database only, we will create the tables. Inside the tables only, we will store the data. Now let's get back to this example. Here, what I said, they are storing the data in this, in the registers. Here, principal wanted to see the performance, and he called the peon and he said that go and bring me the register from 10th A, right? So whenever he is saying to the peon, he might have used any language here, maybe English, Hindi, Telugu, like that. He might have used any language to communicate with the peon, to make peon understand what is his requirement, right? like that. He said that go and bring the register of 10th A. He might have used some language, then only peon understood. He went to the 10th A, he brought that register and gave back to the principal. Correct? In the same way, if we store the data in the form of databases, we should use some language so that so that it by using one language we can communicate with the database what is our requirement. Correct? What we want to display, what we want to do, whatever our requirements are there, to make database understand, we need to use some language. That language is nothing but SQL. SQL is a language used to communicate with the database. As we are storing complete data in the databases, we have many requirements. Sometimes I want some data, sometimes I want some data, sometimes I want to do some changes in my data. Whatever my requirement is there, definitely I need to use some language so that I should be able to communicate with the database, right? That language is called as SQL, that is structured query language. So with this, I can say, let me just remove everything. Is this example clear for you?
Yes.
So with this, I can say database is nothing but the collection of data, correct? Where we will store all the data, something like that we can understand, something like that folders in the computer. Inside the folders, as we will have some files, inside the database, we will have some tables. And inside the tables, we will store data. Here, we will have folders. Inside folders, we will create some files. And inside files, we will store some data or pics, right? If we store anything in laptops. In the same way, we can relate with the database. And how, if we are storing data physically, how we are communicating with the people to make them understand what we want. Whenever we are storing the data in the form of databases, we will use SQL to communicate with the database. So I can say SQL is a language used to communicate with the database. Okay, this is the definition of SQL. SQL, the full form of SQL is structured query language. We will use this SQL language to communicate with the database. Okay, clear? This is about the terms, basic terms of what is database and what is SQL. Okay, and again, SQL, as I said, structured query language, it is a universally declared language, which we will use to communicate with the database. Okay, this is the only language. All the concepts which we will learn in any of the SQL tools will be SQL only. Okay, but again, we have many tools available in market like MySQL, SQL Server, like that. Correct? Have many tools available in the market. Whatever tool may be, the concept will be, the language we will learn will be the SQL only. But these are all just different tools which we will use to learn the SQL. That's it. Okay. Got my point? These are all the different tools. The concept will be same. If you attend my class and if you learn SQL, here we are using MySQL, but with the same concepts, you can even use SQL Server also. This are all the just hardwares, I can say, just tools used to deal with the SQL. Okay. It will be like something like the difference between iPhone and Android phone, how it will be. The settings or the usage will be different, but the concept of using is same, right? The same thing, the concept is same. These are all the different tools, that's it. And the reason why we are using MySQL in our course, in the sense, MySQL is an open source platform. That means it is freely available for everyone, even for in the big companies or small companies. They see basically MySQL, or we have something called as Oracle SQL also. Oracle SQL and MySQL are the products from the Oracle. Okay, write it here. Oracle SQL and sorry.
Postgres.
Yeah, like that we have many SQL, many tools. Like we have MongoDB, we have Postgres, we have Amazon Redshift. Like that we have lots of tools, but mostly in real time we will use. If we are especially talking about, as we are especially discussing about the SQL concepts, previously we used to use Oracle SQL, but these two are the products from Oracle. Nowadays we are using MySQL. If any company is using the product of Oracle, they are using MySQL. And SQL Server is the product from Microsoft. If any company is using the product of Microsoft, they will use the SQL Server like that. But the concepts we learn here will be the same. If you learn SQL, you can use all this. You can use all these tools, no problem. The concepts are same. The reason why we are using MySQL in this sense, as I said, this is open source. Suppose for any company to maintain the SQL Server, they need to make some payment to the Microsoft. Oracle SQL also, if they are maintaining Oracle SQL, they need to pay some amount to the Oracle. But MySQL is an open source platform. This is free of cost. Even in any big companies, if they need to maintain this database, it is freely available from Oracle. No need of paying anything to the Oracle. As it is a free nowadays, most of the companies, maybe startups or maybe big companies, are preferring to use the MySQL. Okay, that's the reason we are learning MySQL in our course. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, great. Now, this is about the minimal terms, what you need to understand. Okay, next, let's see how to create everything. This is the, let me open a new file. Let me quickly explain you the user interface of MySQL. Tomorrow's class, I will show you the installation process of MySQL. Okay, see, to open a new file, did I share my complete screen? Yes. Let me close this quickly and let me open it once again. This is the tool. Once I open, I will get to in this page. Here we can able to see something called as local instance. We need to click here. Then we can able to see this one. And I will show you the installation process tomorrow. And if I open for the first time, as I already using this pages, I can able to see this one. But for the first time, you can't see anything here. To open a new editable page, what we need to do, there is first icon here. Towards the top left, we have plus first icon here. We need to click that. By clicking that, we can able to open a new file where we can write all the SQL queries. And the another way is that we have file menu. In the file menu, if we click on new query tab, from this also we can able to open a new file. Okay, two options, either from here, file and a new query tab, or else directly the first icon. By clicking the first icon, we can able to open a new SQL tab. Okay, this is the editable page. Here we will write all the SQL queries. Towards the left side, you can see something called as schemas, and below that you can find the list of the databases available. Okay, these are all the list of the databases available. As I created this many databases, I can able to see now. For the first time, you can able to see only sys database. This is the by default system generated database. You can able to find only one database there. As I have this many, I can see the list of databases. Okay, this is the place where you will see the list of databases. Again, towards the top, you can see three options here. The first option, whenever we want to see the second option, let me talk about second option first. I started writing my SQL queries. To save that SQL queries as a file, I will click this option. If I click this option, it will be saved. I can save the file in my laptop. Okay. After saving the file, if I want to open any new file, sorry, not new file. After saving that file, if I want to open already saved files, I will use the first option. You can see folder symbol here. If I click here, I can able to open all my SQL files. Okay, I can open like this. Simply if I open randomly one file, all the code we can able to access that file. Okay, this is the about the first option. First option, let me.
The folder option is something the SQL will create by itself.
Yes, it will be created. See, whenever we are saving the file, suppose I wrote something here, I'm saving this file. Here we can select whatever folder we will save. Generally, how we will save all the Excel files and all, we can save that files, right? Wherever we will save that folder only, it will be redirected. Here I'm using my D drive and I'm saving in SQL Workbench files folder. I will give the file name and I will save. Like that, we can use any of the folder names. whenever we are saving the file in our laptops. Okay. So that folder only we can access here from the, if I open this folder directly, as I will use mostly this folder, it will open me this folder only like that. Or else if I want to, I can even open any another also from here like this. Like this. Generally, how we will do with the Excel, the same process. We can save it in the computer. We can access it from our computer like that. Okay.
Okay.
So like that, we need to click this folder option and we need to open any files. Okay. This is about the first two option. Third option is that after writing any SQL statements, we need to execute, right? So this is the execute button. Third one. Okay. And this is the main important thing. Remaining, we have many options in the menu bar. We will see them going forward. Okay. For now, just we need to understand about these three things. And the first and the most importantly, to open a new page, we need to click this. Okay. All right. Now,
Yeah.
let's see how to create the database first. Okay, and one more thing here. Here we saw what is database, what is table, right? So basically in the databases, if we want to store the table, what we will do, we will store something like this. This is suppose employees is my table name and I'm storing employee name, employee number, something like that. Anything. Suppose employee ID, okay, employee name, salary. For example, I'm storing this 3 columns. Employees will be my table name. Employee ID, employee name, and salary will be my column name. And I'm entering some data. Let me tell you quickly, 1 second. I'm entering some random data here in Excel file to make you understand how we will store it in the SQL. So basically this one will be, if I enter the data in the Excel, I will enter like this, right? If we store the same data in the SQL, what it will be, employees will be our table name, okay? And horizontal line is called as row, okay? Vertical thing is called as column, okay? That means I have 3 columns here. Employee ID is 1 column, employee name is 1 column, salary is 1 column. This will be 1 column, correct? In the same way, this will be my first row. 1 Raj and 3000, that will be. So this is how basically whenever we are storing data in the tables, we will store the data in the form of rows and columns. We need to create rows and columns to store the data. I mean, we will store the data inside the tables by using rows and columns. Columns in the sense, the vertical part, this will be 1 column, employee ID will be 1 column, employee name will be my 1 column, right? Salary will be 1 column. Okay, and this is one row level data. This is a row. This is my first row of data. This is my second row of data, like that. Okay. Let's see going forward how we will create this. So this is about rows and columns. Okay. Now let's create a database. To create the database, we'll use create command, create database, database name. It will be the syntax. Okay. Guys, if you get any doubts, please stop and ask me.
Sorry, that double hyphens you used, is that how you open in the create next?
This one. Yeah, that is sorry, nothing but basically, as you can see here, I wrote some steps here. SQL is nothing but it is as you all know, structured query language. SQL is used to communicate with the database, and SQL is insensitive. That means we can use either uppercase or lowercase in SQL, no problem, anything is fine. And the next point here is quotes, I mean comments. Whenever we are writing something in the SQL which is not executable. Suppose this is my notes, I don't want this to be executable. At that time, I will write them inside the comments. Just like any other tools in all the programming languages, we will use comments. Maybe in C, C++, Java also, we will use comments. Okay. So here in SQL, to write any comment, maybe I will use the 2 hyphens like this, or else 1 hash. whenever I wrote something inside this, this will be non-executable. I cannot execute this one. So whenever in real time, if we want to write anything, if we want to write any nodes, or if we want to basically in real time also, we will write some little notes, so that basically in any project, it will, maybe it will work for 5 years. I may work in that project for 2 years, and I may left. Someone else come to my place and they will continue my work, right? Suppose the project is for 5 years. I worked in that project from the day one. After 3 years, I left that job. Someone newly come to my place and they will start working from the already existing project. So they should understand. Okay, Ramu. So they should understand what I worked for the first 3 years, correct? So to make them understand what I will do whenever I'm writing, I will use anything. If I did anything, I will write something in like this in the codes. Like, suppose I can write, maybe I used primary keys like that. Going forward, you can understand what's all this. Make them understand, make anyone, if anyone newly seeing our databases or code, to make them understand, we will write something inside the codes. Whatever we write inside the codes, that is, we can consider it as notes. Okay, we won't execute that. For just understanding purpose, we are writing that one like that only. Okay, that is called as comments, and we can use 2 hyphens or 1 hash. I mean, like this, we can use hash for writing all the comments. Here, particularly in our course, what I will do, instead of giving you separate notes, I will upload all these files, where what it happens, whenever I'm writing any theory part, or whenever we are dealing with any examples, all the questions I will write in the form of comments. At the bottom, you can find the queries, so that whenever you are revising the concepts, it will be easy for you. If you just open this file, the concept will be, you can revise the whole concept, right? I will give you notes like this. This will be the theory part, and this will be the syntaxes or practical part. In between also, you observe whatever notes are there, I will write inside the comments. Whatever we use inside the comments, that is non-executable thing. Okay. So basically in SQL, either we will use the 2 hyphens or hash to write it as comments. Okay. So that's the reason here I forgot to explain this. So whenever I'm writing any syntaxes or notes, I will use the comments. Okay, this is called as comments basically. Okay, and one more important point is semicolon is optional in MySQL. Okay, after writing any statements in SQL Server, what we will do, we will write a semicolon. Whenever we will write semicolon, then only SQL will understand, okay, this is the end of the line. It happens in SQL Server. Whereas in MySQL, semicolon is optional. If we write also, no problem. If we don't write also, no problem. Okay, it is optional. Okay, these are all the important points. Anyways, I will upload this file only, no worries. Now let's see how to create the database. To create the database, we need to use create database name. We need to give any name, and I have the list of databases here. We can't use same name again and again. We need to give some unique name. Suppose I'm just giving it as extra class, something like that. Okay. After the words, I can delete this database. Okay. I already have many. I am not supposed to use the same database name again. It will throw me an error. Here for this, I'm using the database name as extra class. So generally we will use like this. We will give any database names here, create database names, and extra class is my database name, and I'm executing that. We need to select the statement and we need to click the execute button here. Okay. The database got created. At the bottom, you can see it got created. So here, besides schemas, we have a refresh button, correct? If I click on this refresh button, you can see now I got my newly added database. So whenever we create any database, whenever we create any table, to see here, we need to refresh once. Okay, then we can see the newly added tables or databases here. Here you can see I created a database with extra class. You can see the database name here, extra class, correct? By default, whenever we create the database, we will have four things here, like tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. We will learn each one of them going forward. For now, we are mostly being SQL developers. 80% or 80% 85% we will work on tables only. What is stored procedures, what is used also going forward we will learn, but mostly we will work on tables. So for now, let's concentrate on the tables. Okay. So I created my database. Now I need to create the table, correct? So how to create the table in the sense, as I just show you, I just shown you in Excel file. Suppose this is my table. In Excel file, I will store like this. Employees will be my table name. This is my column names and this is my data. Now let's see how to create this everything in the databases. Okay, so to create the table, I will use create command once again. Create table. Table name will be the syntax. First, I'm writing the syntax. Okay, table name. Inside the table name, I need to give the column names here. Suppose column name 1. Or else you may be confused, you will get confused. I will directly use the employees only here. Okay, for suppose I'm creating the employees table. However, I used the same example here. This will be the table name, right? So here I'm saying employees will be my table name. And after writing the table name, we need to use the parenthesis, open and closed bracket. And inside the parenthesis, I need to give the column names. What are all the column names we have? We have employee ID, we have employee name, we have salary. I need to give all those column names here. So employee ID is my first column, employee name is second column, and salary is third column. Correct? So basically my, what is that? Column names. Okay. For example, here I have one more column. Suppose date of joining. Okay. Suppose I will write some dates here. Something like that. I have date of joining also. Now here I will include date of joining here also. For example, I'm just using DOJ, date of joining. Understand that. Okay, this I have 4 columns: employee ID, employee name, salary, and date of joining. These are all my column names. Okay, so I already discussed about the limitations of Excel. If I get time, I will once again repeat that. But whenever I discussed limitations of Excel, I said one point. Okay, the point is that, see, basically database is nothing but we are storing the data, right? We have many forms of storing the data, like we have Excel file, we have PDF file, like that, right? Suppose if we have all these files, then what is the need of database? Is one concept called as, where we will discuss the limitations of Excel, okay, and how we will overcome those limitations by using databases. We didn't cover how we will overcome those limitations. We just discussed the limitations of the Excel file. Okay, in that we have one limitation. Okay, that limitation is nothing but, suppose I'm storing the data. We have some 4 to 5 limitations. I will discuss them later. For now, just concentrate on one limitation. In that 4 limitations, we have one limitation. That limitation is that if I'm storing the data like this in the Excel file, suppose this is my salary column, or suppose this is my date column. I need to enter dates only here. But if I entered some random data, it is allowing me to enter, right?
The inputs.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I'm not sure. Is just now the meeting got ended?
I think so. We have lost your visuals.
From when?
Just now.
Just now only. No, okay, okay. I didn't realize how it happened. So I'm talking about this thing, right? This is nothing but I'm saying that we have some limitations of Excel. In that limitations, I have almost 4 to 5 limitations. I will discuss about them later. But for now, I'm talking about one limitation. Just try to listen that. Okay, this is, I think just now only we lost the connection, right?
Yeah, the screen is also not visible actually. We can't see your screen.
Okay, okay, sorry. Let me share my screen. Sorry for that. Is it okay?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So we are discussing that we have many limitations, like 4 to 5 limitations. I will tell them detailedly going forward. For now, we have one limitation in the Excel. That limitation is, suppose this is the date of joining column. In date of joining column, we need to enter only the dates here. But instead of dates, if I enter randomly high or anything here, see, Excel is allowing me to enter. It is not throwing me any error. It's not saying me this is the date column. You need to enter date only. You entered some wrong data. It is not saying, it is not stopping me. Correct. Excel will allows me whatever allows every. I mean, Excel allows whatever we enter. Correct. But basically that is wrong. If whenever we are dealing with the big data, if we store the data like this, suppose mistakenly or unknowingly or intentionally, if I entered any wrong data, Excel is not stopping me to enter. It is allowing me to enter the wrong data only. So in real time, as we are dealing with the big data, our systems should be such robust. Whenever we enter any irrelevant data, it should throw us an error stating that you are entering some wrong data, like that. Correct. Then only it won't create any problem for us. Whereas in Excel, it is not stopping me, it is not throwing me any error. Whatever data I entered, it is just accepting. Right. This is the big drawback of Excel. Suppose in salary, obviously we know salary will be in the form of numbers only. But if I entered any relevant data, any characters, it is entering. It is allowing me to enter. It is not throwing me any error, right? So this is one of the drawback. This limitation we will overcome in SQL with the concept of data types. Okay. We have a concept of data types here. By using the data types, we will overcome with this limitation. We need to, we need to create tables as we are dealing with the big data, we are in need of such system that our system should be such robust. If we enter any irrelevant data, inappropriate data or wrong data, it should not allow us to enter. It should throw us an error. Correct. For that reasons only, we won't use Excel whenever we are dealing with the big data. We are using databases. Because in databases, if we enter any irrelevant data, it won't allow us to enter. It will throw us an error. Okay. So that concept, basically how we will overcome that in the sense, we will create data types whenever we are creating the table. This data types only only help us to overcome that limitation. Okay. So what is data type in the sense? Whenever we are, I can say, data types, see, whenever we are, this is my table, correct? Employees is my table. Employee ID, employee name, salary is my column names. For each and every column, whenever I'm defining every column, I need to define the data type. Okay. So if you want me to tell the technical definition of data type, I can tell data type is nothing but, sorry, where is my screen? It defines what type of value I need to enter. Okay. Data types in the sense, it defines what type of value the column can store. This is the technical definition of data type. Here what we are doing, this is my table name. This is my column names. EID is my column, employee name is my column, salary, date of joining. This is my columns. Correct. So here whenever I am defining any column name, I need to define data type along with the column name. Data type is nothing but it defines what type of value the column can store. If I am defining a data type for employee ID, it will, that will define what type of values I can store in that employee ID. Okay. Yes, please.
Type in the sense, for example, employee ID is of numbers,
Correct.
characters.
Correct. Employee ID will be in the form of numbers, right?
Yes, instead of characters. So numbers and characters are two different data types.
Correct.
So can there be a mix, for example?
Yes, we have that. Let me explain that for you. Okay. So now for now you understood what is the data types, right? Now let's see what are all the types of data types what are all the different types of data types. Okay. So we have basically numerical data type. Okay, let me show you one image instead of this. You can see my screen, right? So these are all the SQL data types available. We have different types in SQL. First one is numerical data types. Okay, character or string data type. We can call it as even character data type or string data type. Next we have date and time data type. Like that, we have some data types like Boolean and this Boolean data type, binary and miscellaneous data type. Okay, this data types we won't use much. This 3 data types only we will use in real time much. Okay, very frequently we will use these 3 data types. So as you can see here, these data types are further divided. This numerical data types is further divided into 2 types, that is int and float. Int is nothing but we can call it as integers. Like, you know, if we want to store normal numbers, we will define the data type as int. Okay, this data types, basically the types of the data types. For understanding, we will call it as the names of the data types, but these are all the exact data types which we are going to use whenever we are creating the table. In numerical data types, we have 2. One is int and float. For normal numbers, we will use int. For decimal numbers, we will use float. Whenever we are defining a column, we know what type of data we need to enter, right? Accordingly, we will define the data type. Okay, for numbers, we will use int. For decimals, we will use float. Decimals instance 1.2, 2.4, like that, correct? So in the same way, we have one data type called as character or string data type. In that, we have 2 types of data types. That is, one is char and varchar. Okay, what is the difference between char and varchar? I will explain you in a while. Okay. Next, we have date and time data type. Here we have 2 data types. One is date data type and date time data type. If we want to store only date, we need to use this format: first year, then month, then date. Okay, YYYYMMDD. In this format only we need to store the data of dates. Okay, along with the dates, if we want to store the time also, like hour, minutes and seconds, we will use this date time data type. Okay, the format will be like this. And we have something like Boolean. If we use that, the outputs will be like true and false only, and this is binary and miscellaneous. You can ignore that. Okay, mainly we will use this 3 types of data types. Okay, what is char and varchar? I will just explain you in a while. For now, just understand, for character data we will use char and varchar. What is the difference between them? I will just explain you. Okay, now let's see what we need to do here. As I said, numerical, I'm not writing the notes here because I will upload anyways the already written perfect notes only I will upload. I'm not writing anything here now. By seeing this image, you got an idea, right? How many types of data types and how each data type is dividing, like, correct?
Yeah.
So here, for employee table, we using 4 columns here. But this is not the correct syntax of creating the table, because whenever we create the table, whenever we are giving the table name, inside the parentheses, we need to define the column names. And after defining every column name, we need to define the data type. Okay, let me just copy this. So now what I need to do, for each and every column name, I need to define the data type beside the column name only. For employee ID, we know that will be the numbers. Employee IDs will be generally numbers only, correct? So I can use int data type here, right? In the same way, employee name in the sense character data type. So I can even use char or varchar. What is the difference between I will tell you just now. So okay, employees is my table name, employee ID is my first column, int is the data type, employee name is my second column. As we enter character data in it, I used char here. Whenever we define character data, we need to define size also. Okay, What is this? I will explain you in a while. For now, just understand I used char of 10. Okay. Next, we have salary data type. For this salary data type, obviously we can use, it will be numbers only. Either we can use int or float. If we think the decimals will also be there, we will use float. Like that. It depends on the data, what we are entering. Okay. Next, we have date of joining. Obviously, we will use date data types here. Correct? So according to the data types here, what it is doing, it is defining what type of value the column can store. As I defined int here, I'm defining that I can only enter numerical values here. So this is the drawback of Excel, right? Instead of if I enter character data also, employee ID in employee ID column, Excel is accepting. But here I'm giving some data types, I'm defining some data types to the column so that it won't accept. If I mention integers here, if I wrote any wrong data, if I entered any character data, it will throw me an error. It will say me that you used int data type. Please enter only numerical data, like that. Correct?
Ma'am, in the float one which you have written, for
Mhm.
example, if we use float, it will accept both the integer and float values.
Correct. If here in numbers, it will accept only number values like 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. If I enter 1.5, it won't accept. But whereas in float, it will accept numbers as well as the decimal points.
Okay.
If I wrote 1 also, it will accept. If I write 1.5 also, it will accept.
Okay.
Like that. So to be on the safer side, we will use a float whenever we are using this kind of columns. Employees, obviously we don't have floats, we don't have decimal points. So obviously it will be unique, normal numbers row. That's the reason we will use int. But salaries, we may use like 3.5 lakhs, like that also it will be there, correct? So for that reason, we will use float. It will accept normal numbers also. It will accept 3 also, like that. Okay. And this is the date data type. Forget about char for now. I will explain you in a while. So this is how we will create the table. This is the table. This is the table name. This is my syntax basically. Create is the key command. Create table, table name. Inside the parentheses, I need to give the column name and I need to give the data types. Okay. Now I will just select this and I will execute this. One second. I need to activate the database here. Sorry, I missed this. See here what I did. I created the database. After creating the database, as I said you in the starting class, we need to activate the database. If without activating, if we try to execute like this, it will throw us error stating no database selected. Correct? We need to activate the database so that SQL should understand in which database we should execute this statement. Correct? For now, I'm using extra class as the database name, right? We need to activate the database. To activate the database, we use keyword here. That is use db name will be my syntax. Okay, that means use extra class. This is the database name, right? I need to use like this. I need to activate the database first. For now, if you observe, everything is in normal light color. Whenever I'm using use keyword here, I'm activating this. I will say use and I will give my database name and I will execute. You can see there's this particular database get into some bold dark black color. That means this indicates this database is activated now. And what are all the SQL statements I will execute? All those will be executed inside this database. Okay. For now, suppose if I already activated extra class here and I am going, suppose I wrote I left this page like this only. Whenever I close this file only, this whatever database is activated, it will be inactivated. If I don't close this place, I will leave this page like this for the next class. Suppose imagine after some time or in the next class, I wanted to work on some other employees database or maybe movies database like that. At that time, in a hurry, if I don't activate this, whatever SQL statements I will write, that SQL statements will by default store under this already activated database only. So we need to make sure, we need to be cautious for this concept. We need to first activate on which database we are going to use. That database we need to activate and we need to execute all the fields. And again, if we create only, it will work. If we write any other syntaxes, it won't work. It will throw us error, right? Suppose here I activated employee extra class database. Now I'm working on after 1 hour, if I work on Maven Movies database, here my tables will be different. If I write some query, depending on this table, though this database is activated, it will throw me error stating that there is no such table called actor in this database. Like that, it will throw an error. No problem, but we need to be cautious in this. Okay. So this is how we will activate the database. Use database name. Now my extra class database got activated. Now I am executing this create table syntax. My table got created. Correct? Am I clear?
Yeah. So in the case, if you don't activate the database, however you give all the commands, they will still be there, but they will not get executed.
Yeah, but it will throw us error. You can see previously I just executed it, but it just thrown me an error. The syntax will be there as it is. It is saying that no database selected. That means I didn't selected any database. I need to activate the database. Like that we can understand.
Okay.
Mostly here in SQL, 99% or 95%, whenever we get errors, by seeing the error code, we will understand what mistake we done.
Okay.
It will just display the error message very clearly. Okay. So this is how we will create the tables. Let's see how we will insert the data and how we will display the data. Afterwards, I will tell you the difference between char and varchar if time permits today or else tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Just ignore this a little bit, this little thing. Okay. Now this is about creating the table. So after creating the table, I need to insert the data. Basically, we have select command. This is one command which is used to display the data. Okay. After creating any tables, we will use a select command to display the data. Okay. And the command will be like select star from table name. If I want to see, I just now created employees table. I want to see the data inside the employees table. I will use the select command. This is called as star, or we will call it as asterisk. Okay. See, we will call it as asterisk. If we want to display the complete data, we will use asterisk. Okay. Or else if I want to, display any particular data, we will give the column names. We will see that one also. For now, I used asterisk here. I want to display the complete data of the employees. But here what happened? I just created the data. I didn't inserted the data. Before inserting, what will be the output? Let's check once. See, if I executed, it is showing me only the structure of the data because I didn't inserted any row, any data inside the table, right? I only just created the table. So it is showing me I created, this is my table. I have 4 columns. This is showing me the column names. If I, after creating the table, if we want to see, here we need to refresh once again. We need to expand the tables. Here you can see the employees name, right? I just created employees table inside the extra class database. We need to expand like this. So this is the database. If I expand database, I can see the tables. If I expand tables, I can see the list of tables I got created. Okay. Now I just created the table. I didn't, inserted the data. That's the reason if I use the select command, it is displaying the table like this. Correct? We will use select command to display the data. So is it okay? Can I continue for 5 to 10 minutes more?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. So now we will use insert command to insert the data. Okay. We have insert command. Insert is one more command which we will use to insert the data. And the syntax for insert command is insert table, or else I can directly use it. Insert into table. Here my table name is employees, right? So I need to write table name here. Insert into table name. I need to use the keyword called as values. See here, I'm basically inserting the data. To insert the data, we will use insert command. The syntax will be like insert into table name. Table name is employee's name here. Values, we need to use this values keyword. And I need to use the parenthesis here. Inside the parenthesis, I need to give the values. Here you know what are all the column names we have. First employee ID, next employee name, salary, date of journey. We need to use this sequence only. First I need to enter employee ID data only. That is, I'm entering some randomly one here. I'm entering some names here. Okay. Just hold on, I will explain you. Next, what we have next, salary, and then date of joining. Maybe the salary is 50,000 and the date of joining is 2020 August 12, something like that. Okay, here if you observe, for character data and for date data type data, I used quotes. For numerical data or float data type, like that. For numerical data, basically we will use directly, but for character data and date data type data, we will use quotes to enter the data. Either we can use single quotes or we can use double quotes. Inside the double quotes also we can give name. Anything is fine. But we need to use quotes for character data and date data type data. Okay. So here, this is the employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining, and this will be my first row, correct? Now I need to give one comma and I need to start writing my second row. Okay, I will just use the enter. I will write it at the bottom. After entering, I will explain you. Give me a second. Something like this. See here what's happening. I'm inserting the data into employees table, insert into employees values. After writing values, I will enter the data of my first row data inside the parenthesis. I need to open and close the brackets. Inside that parenthesis, I will enter my first row data. Inside the first row data, also, whenever you can see comma, it indicates that it is separating column wise. This is my first column data. After that, I'm using a comma. This is my second column data, comma, third column data. That means here, comma is used to separate the columns here inside the parenthesis, right? After that, this will be my first row data. I close the parenthesis and I need to give one more comma. After closing the bracket, if I use comma, SQL will understand that this is the first row of data. Okay, comma is there, right? So it is ended. This is my first row data and this is my second row data. Like that, comma here helps us to understand, helps us to separate the row level data. Whenever we see comma after closing the parenthesis, we need to understand this is my first data, first row data. This is my second row data. Again, for the second row data also, we need to enter the data inside the parenthesis only. I need to use again comma, again I will write some data inside here, inside the parenthesis like this, okay? Inside the parenthesis, here comma is used to separate the column level data, like, columns. The first one is of first column, then comma, second column, comma, like that. Is it okay? Did you understand?
Yes.
This is how we will insert the data, okay? Now let me just execute this. See, my data got inserted. If you can see here, I will refresh once again. This is my database extra class. In tables, I have employees table. If I click the table name here, towards the left side, in specially MySQL, it will show like this. It will show the column names and data types here. For EID, I used int data type, ename char data type, like that. It will show me the data types. Okay. Here, what I did, I created the table, I inserted the data. Now let me once again execute this select statement. We will use select statement to display the data, right? So I'm just execute the select star from employees. I can able to view my complete data, my column data and my row data. As I said, whenever I use asterisk, I can display my complete data, but whenever I want to display any particular data, for example, if I write it as select name, comma salary from employees, okay, at that time I can able to display only this particular data, that is employee name and salary. Okay, this two we need to mention either asterisk. If we use a star here, it will display the complete data, or else we can give any column names, any particular column names that will display that particular column names data only. If I execute here, it will display only employee name and salary, employee column and salary column data from the employees table. Okay. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so, great. So this is how the almost the main concepts all have done. Okay, I almost whatever I explained you from in this extra class, almost 2 demos is finished. You can in my 2 to 3 classes I explained this much only. The extra points is that I need to explain you about the limitations of Excel, correct? And one more thing, difference between char and varchar.
So, ma'am, after watching this video, so we can watch today's video, right?
Yes, today's video. But again, these 2 videos, these 2 concepts are missing. Limitations of Excel, as I said, it won't relate to the SQL concepts. But again, to have more knowledge, I will, I will explain this concept in the subject. Okay. So going forward, if possible, I will just send you, once you got registered tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will send you personally this link to you. If possible, just try to watch that video, or else I will definitely cover this video in any day going forward. Okay. Because this is not related concept. Till the end of the session, I can explain this concept any time. That is okay. Okay.
Okay, and how about the char and varchar?
And char and varchar, I will explain in tomorrow's class. First, whenever we log in tomorrow, first I will show you the installation process. After finishing the installation process, I will explain this char and varchar. And after this char and varchar, whatever we discussed in morning's class, today's video, the same concept. SQL commands is there, right? Where is that? The next concept is SQL commands only. This is SQL sublanguages. Okay.
Okay.
Right. I hope everything is clear for you so far. Actually, I need to log into my office, so I need to end the session for now.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Madam, one small request.
Yes, please.
I just paid the fee through because I'm unable to send the mail to them. My mail ID is ramulu08@gmail.com.
Yeah,
Can you just
I
inform them, madam? Last time I had a big problem.
okay. Just give me a minute. I'll save this and I'll tell the admin team. Okay, I'll inform the admin team. They will contact you if needed. Okay. All right. Could you please, if you don't mind, okay. Let's see. Can you able to share your mobile number from where you did the payment? If it is okay, share it here, or else I will just share your Gmail ID to the admin team. They will get in touch with you. Anything is fine.
Okay.
Ramu, can you hear me? All right, guys. Anyways, I will inform about your mail ID to the admin team, and let me end the session for now. Whoever get registered, we will get a new link today. Please follow that link from tomorrow's class, okay?
Okay.
And from tomorrow, we will have exactly from 8 to 9, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Ramu, I got your number also. Thank you. All right, let's meet in tomorrow's class.
Sure. Thank you.